Alright everybody, through the duration of this video, there will be 4 hidden photos. So there'll be a hidden Oscar, a hidden Benji, a hidden Blade, and a hidden Drax. If you manage to find all 4 of them, leave the timestamp down in the comments and you will be able to be in the running to win a prize from the ComixCanines website. Thank you everybody, let's see if everyone can find the hidden Doges. So before we do get into this video today, I would just like to let everybody know that I have been unable to get some extra or different footage, so I'll probably be recycling a lot of the stuff that I have used in previous videos, and we also have a new setup, so the mic will be a lot clearer and these videos will be a lot more professional. But without further ado, let's get into it. Sorry about the videos again, but nonetheless, they're still adorable. So let's go, this is ComixCanines. We all want our dogs to live happy and prosperous lives, and the best way to achieve this is by making sure they are in the best state of health. This can be accomplished through their diet and exercise. When focusing on these, there are some things to take into account. So today, we skim over some ways to keep your dog healthy with Canines, Cants and Cants. Can your dog eat cantaloupes and mushrooms? Is cantaloupe a can or can't? Cantaloupe, or the other names for it, which include muskmelon or rockmelon, which are all in the same family as the watermelon, honeydew melons, and cucumbers, is an excellent source of dietary fiber, vitamin B6, niacin, folate, vitamins A, vitamin C, and potassium. It is also low in calories and high in water content, making it a tasty way to rehydrate without packing on the pounds. Vitamins A and C provide lots of health benefits for dogs, most notably in their role as antioxidants. Antioxidants play a crucial role in capturing free radicals, which slows cell aging, promotes healthy cell function, and may help reduce the risk of certain diseases. The high water and fiber content in cantaloupe also promotes healthy digestion and prevents constipation and dehydration. With it containing 90% water, a cantaloupe makes a hydrating snack for both you and your pup on a hot summer day. But there are some other benefits from the vitamins and minerals that we will discuss now. Antioxidants. Vitamins A and vitamin C, along with selenium, beta-carotene, lutein, choline, and zeaxanthin, make up a host of antioxidants in cantaloupes. These powerful soldiers fight free radicals that come from environmental stress that damages or causes the oxidation of normal cells. Antioxidants are known for their anti-inflammatory properties, fighting some kinds of cancers, supporting brain health and the immune system, as well as preventing heart disease and premature aging in your dogs. Potassium supports healthy kidney and heart function, maintains healthy bone density, regulates fluid levels, and helps in muscle development. Niacin helps to break down the sugars and fats into energy. Magnesium. This micromineral supports the metabolizing of proteins and fatty acids. It also supports energy production and the role of ligament and bone maintenance. Vitamin K, an essential vitamin that aids in blood clotting and coagulation. Folate, also called folic acids. It's an essential mineral supporting normal metabolic functions such as DNA synthesis and red blood cell production. Manganese. This micromineral produces energy, metabolizes proteins and carbohydrates, and makes fatty acids. It's an important part of many enzymes and supports the health and maintenance of bone and cartilage in the joints. The dietary fiber. The fibrous meats in cantaloupe provides a generous source of dietary fiber necessary for healthy digestion. Fiber keeps things moving and protects against constipation. A high water content. As we discussed earlier, it is a 90% water inside of a cantaloupe. This promotes healthy digestion and protects against dehydration. With it being low in calories, this tasty sweet fruit is low in calories, so it's a great snack on a hot summer day, or any day your dog needs extra hydration or a healthy motivation alternative. But with many fruits, they contain a high sugar content compared to other fruits, so diabetic dogs and overweight dogs should only be offered cantaloupe occasionally. You should also check with your vet before offering it. But with all of these benefits, there are some risks too. Not too many, but it is worthy of letting people know. So the risks of feeding cantaloupe are as follows. The cantaloupe rinds. Just like with watermelons and other melons, the rinds can cause upsets in your dog's digestive system or a tummy ache. You can avoid that by removing them and serving the fruit in bite-sized pieces. It can also be a choking hazard. Any food can become a choking hazard or blockage in your dog's digestive system if it's not prepared correctly. Small dogs face the greatest risk from choking, but large dogs who gulp their food run the same amount of risk. Always cut the fruit and veggies into bite-sized or small pieces to avoid this hazard. And it is meant for moderation. You wouldn't want to feed your dog cantaloupe daily. It's fine for a quick hydrating snack here and there, but too much too often raises the risks of diabetes and obesity. So always check with the vet when introducing a new food. They will recommend the appropriate amount for your dog. And that is cantaloupes, which is most definitely a Ken. You can prepare it into many little treats, snacks, and sometimes put it inside of meals. But now, we're going to move on to the next one, the mushrooms. Mushrooms are Ken or can't. Mushrooms are a complicated food group. These edible fungi are in many dishes and grown wild in our yards, gardens, and parks. And yet we hear so many stories about mushroom foraging gone wrong. But what about dogs? Do they have the same reactions to mushrooms as we do? If you've ever contemplated slipping a mushroom into your dog's food, or have seen your dog nibbling on a mushroom in your yard, you've probably asked yourself a couple of questions. These answers depend entirely on the kind of mushroom. So can dogs eat wild mushrooms? You're walking with your dog and he or she is sniffing the ground. You notice they have stopped to eat something. When you go to have a look, you discover that your dog has snapped up a wild mushroom. Your first reaction is to panic. You're on the right track. Some people believe that dogs won't eat toxic mushrooms because they can identify toxins by scent. Unfortunately, this could not be further from the truth. Vets and mushroom experts believe that wild mushroom poisoning is an underreported cause of fatal poisoning in pets, and responding quickly to a suspected mushroom snack is the best thing you can do for your dog in these circumstances. If your dog has ingested a wild mushroom, contact your vet or animal poison control center. Now, what kinds of mushrooms are wild? What type of wild mushrooms are toxic to dogs? While only a small percentage of the mushroom species in the world are in fact toxic, the ones that are toxic are very toxic. They're also often difficult to distinguish from the non-toxic varieties, so vets recommend treating all wild mushrooms as potentially toxic and a vet emergency. Dogs eat mushrooms for the same reasons they eat other odd things. They explore the world by scent and taste, and the texture of a mushroom might be very intriguing to an inquisitive canine. To make things worse, some varieties of toxic mushrooms, like Amanita phalioides or the death cap, and inocybe, have a fishy odour. As any dog owner knows, dogs find fishy odours particularly attractive, which may explain why dogs commonly ingest these toxic mushroom species. Unless you are a mycologist, vets caution against trying to identify the mushroom in question yourself, and instead urge clients to bring their dogs in for treatment, as even practiced mushroom foragers make mistakes. However, there are a few wild mushrooms that seem to cause the most problems. Amanita phalioides, known colloquially as death cap, Galerina marginata, sorry if I butcher these names, is also known as the deadly Galerina or the Galerina autumnalis, Amanita gemata or the jeweled death cap, Amanita muscaria, called the fly agaric or the deadly agaric, Geometra or the false moral, and the inocybe and clitocybe, the delbata mushrooms. What are the symptoms of mushroom poisoning in dogs? The symptoms of mushroom poisoning in dogs depend on the species of mushroom. Certain mushroom species contain different toxins which affect dogs differently. For instance, the Amanita mushrooms contain amanitin toxins. These cause severe GI symptoms, a false recovery period where the dog seems to feel better, and then liver failure, acute kidney injury, and ultimately death. Inocybe and clitocybe deobata mushrooms cause salivation, eye watering, increased urination, diarrhea, and neurological signs. Other types of Amanita mushrooms cause sedation, tremors, quote-unquote, walking drunk, and seizures, and the false moral causes profuse vomiting and diarrhea, but is usually not as fatal. Other types of mushrooms simply cause GI upset, and while these are rarely life-threatening, it can be very hard to determine the type of mushroom ingested based on early symptoms. We also don't always know that our dogs have eaten mushrooms. Here is a list of the more common symptoms of mushroom poisoning in dogs to help you keep a watchful eye on your canine companion. There is vomiting, diarrhea, salivation, weakness, lethargy, ataxia or the staggering gait, coma, seizures, liver failure, jaundice, abdominal pain, and death. The toxic effects of mushrooms can also depend on any underlying conditions your dog may have or a combination of ingested substances. Treating mushroom poisoning in dogs. The vet treatment options for mushroom poisoning depends on the types of mushrooms, the symptoms, and how recently the mushroom was ingested. If you can get a sample of the mushroom, preferably wrapped in a damp paper towel and stored in a paper bag, bring it into your vet, as this will help them determine the best course of action for the specific toxin. Your vet may induce vomiting or some other form of relief and techniques to help your pooch. But it is not all bagged. Can dogs eat store-bought mushrooms? Wild mushrooms can be toxic to humans and dogs alike. But what about store-bought mushrooms such as the portobello mushrooms? Mushrooms sold in large chain grocery stores are generally safe for dogs to eat. So are mushrooms a can or a can't? So technically they are both. Wild mushrooms? Probably not. Store-bought mushrooms are a can, but be sure to do your research beforehand and figure out what type of store-bought ones are. Portobellos are, but some could be lethal, so it is best to just steer away from mushrooms in general, as dogs don't necessarily need them in their diet. So mushrooms, I would just definitely say I can't. This has been ComixCanines. I hope you did find this useful. Thank you everybody for tuning in. So cantaloupes, definitely you can. Mushrooms, are a wary can, but I would definitely say can't and avoid them at all costs. That's enough.